Hello, welcome back to Grandpa's Workshop. In this video I'm actually doing a project. Instead of faffing around on the workshop, I'm in the workshop working on something. Daughter was hankering after some rustic Christmas stars for decorations in the upcoming season, so I thought I'd put the toy bandsaw through its paces properly for once and batch out a reasonable sized project. Let's crack on. So, number one daughter is very artsy crafty, interior designy, and a while back she approached me and asked me if I could do some rustic holiday Christmas star decoration thingies out of wood. I had no idea what these were, so she took me on a tour of the interwebs and Pinterest in particular, which I hadn't particularly paid much attention to. So we found lots of designs and settled on a very simple start off with. And I said, what sort of wood would you like to choose? And she said, well, I've got some left over from the bathroom renovation tucked away up in the loft. I'll bring it over. So she brought it over and it was a bit more than I was expecting. But anyway, I said, how many do you want? She said, well, just see how many you can get out of this batch of wood. So I set it out and I played around with the designs and printed out some little diamond templates on paper and stuck them on the back of the wood. And she was very pleased with those I batched out on the toy bandsaw. So I set about doing the big batch, as you can see here. I'm rearranging the wood for width and depth, so I can batch out. Each star takes 5 little diamonds. So it took quite a lot of thinking, battering about, and I cut the templates out on cardboard this time in order to save time for number one daughter to peel the paper off a rather large amount of these little stars. So I cut up some corrugated cardboard that the Amazon man had brought and started penciling out the outline on the pieces of wood. The corrugated cardboard was a bit rough around the edges, so after a while I gave up on that, and I'd kept one or two of the diamonds back for a sample, so I started using those, which you can see me doing here. Very well, we progressed along quite nicely until I'd got the whole lot batched out. As you'll see shortly, it's around 96 of the little ones and 30 odd of the large ones, so I should get 18 small stars and 5 or 6 big stars by the time I've finished. And here it is in close up as I run down one length of wood, marking out the diamonds. You'll notice I push one large diamond against the edge of the wood, so that when it comes to cutting them out, I only have to cut 3 of the 4 sides. So how many stars am I going to get? Well, if I do the maths, I reckon that's another 5 large ones and another 12.5 or 18 small ones. There we go, maybe a bit left over. And having marked out the sections on the lengths of wood, here I am just chopping the longer lengths into more convenient sections of about 3 and 4 diamonds on a strip, so I can manipulate cutting at the sides more efficiently. So I'll show you a quick detail of what I'm doing in here. I'm just running the saw blade in between the marked out diamonds to give me a workable length of wood to play with on the small table. And as you can see, with the grain of this wood, that little toy bandsaw blade is struggling a bit of drift and a bit of foreshadowing for what's obviously going to cause a problem later. Watch out for it. And at this point, my obsession with having a neat workflow through the toy bandsaw means I have to ship everything back onto the left from where it was on the right. so I can work from left to right. Don't judge me, it's just how I am. And here we go, putting out individual diamonds in detail. Because when I'd set them out with the template against one edge, I've only 3 sides of the 4 sides of the diamond to cut out. The wood was quite difficult, so it's taking it slowly, and I thought I would run one set of 5 off for each of the 2 sizes to show you. Okay, let's get stuck in and push this batch out. Oh dear, is it supposed to go bedoing and make funny noises? I don't think so, Grandpa. Let's have a look and see where we're up to. Yup, I think I found the problem, guys. Oh dear. To add to the ones that she's already pocketed. The whole batch will have to go on hold now until I can get a new blade for the little toy bandsaw. Such is life. So we resumed the batching out of Rustic Stars Saga about a week later after I broke the bandsaw blade. The nice man from Amazon brought me a new blade and I put it back on. The whole thing was going to be a little fettling the toy bandsaw video, but unfortunately there was rather too much swearing and banging and stomping around the workshop to make a really good video. Anyway, a little earlier in this video I ventured the opinion that I was struggling with the grain on this wood, and retrospectively I believe it's not so much the grain as the fact that I've always struggled with the tensioning and tracking on this saw, getting it tight enough, and also the fact that the blade on the saw at that time was the original blade, and although I may be using my chisels as disposable items, that blade had seen far too much work, and my experience with the new blade shows how much a difference it is if you keep your blades new and sharp. Here you can see me checking the build-up of sawdust inside the bandsaw. That's a very dirty boy and needs a good clean out halfway through the job. And then I get back into it. And here I go, surprising myself with how satisfying it is to actually batch my way through quite a long sawing session. Brilliant. And before I knew it, the feeder table was bare. No more wood to feed through. The bucket of scraps is full. And there we go. All the stars done. Another 5 large stars and another 18 small stars with some scraps left over for number 1 daughter to fettle if she needs to amongst the others. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, get involved in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Crack on.